Good day, everyone. By the way, I'm Arnold John A. Duelungsod, and I'm here to discuss the continuation topic entitled Distinguish and Know the Value Formation Towards the Practice of Civil Engineering. Um, First topic that I'm going to discuss entitled Moral Reasoning and Code of Ethics. Moral reasoning and code of ethics. Ethical or moral dilemmas are situations in which moral reasons come into conflict or in which the application of moral values are unclear and it's not immediately obvious what should be done. So, next, ethical dilemmas arise in engineering. Yes, it is usual, it is common for us engineering facing those dilemmas or having a difficulties in choosing what is better or worse. As elsewhere, because moral values are many and varied and can make competing claims. Next, the technical and economic decision had moral dimension in four general directions. First is safety. Second, environmental protection. Third, consumer usefulness. And lastly, economic benefits. Safety. Yes, safety. We need to consider or prioritize safety. It is very important for us to consider safety. Human safety is obviously a moral value rooted directly in the moral worth of human beings. Um, we need to consider safety not only protects workers from injury and illness. It can also lower injury and illness costs, reduce absenteeism and turnover. And it also increase productivity and quality and raise employees' morale. So, we need to consider safety as or we need to prioritize safety as always. So, environmental protection. A second set of moral values concern the environment. Depending on one's environmental ethic, injuries to wildlife might be understood as direct moral, and harms to creatures recognized as having inherent worth or instead as indirect harms to human beings. So, environmental ethics helps define man's moral and ethical obligation towards the environment. So, we need to um, we need to be um, we need to be practical or we have the obligation to have concern in our environment or we need to protect our environment as always for our safety as well as um, third, consumer usefulness. Some moral values are masked under terms such as useful and convenient products. We need to think of such matter as non-moral. Uh, it is very important to study consumer usefulness to better understand the forces that drive behavior. So it is based upon these values that consumer make decision and choices. So we need to think of such matters as non-moral. So that's the point of these moral values. So next, lastly, economic benefits combines economics and ethics, uniting value judgment from both discipline in order to predict, analyze, and model economic phenomena. So, economic benefit is one of many possible ways to define and measure value. Although other types of value are often important, but economic benefits values are useful to consider when making economic choices. There are steps in resolving ethical dilemmas. Reasonable solutions to ethical dilemmas are clear informed, and well-reasoned. Clear. Clear refers to moral clarity. Clarity about moral values are at stake and how they pertain to the situation. It also refers to conceptual clarity. Precision in using key concept ideas applicable in situation. Um, we need we need to be what do you call that? Clear. The ideas the ideas should be clear in order for us to resolve ethics dilemmas, in order for us to choose what is better or worse if the statement is clear. So the key point here is we need to be clarity about what is. Next, information. Information means knowing and appreciating the implication of morally relevant facts. In addition, it means being aware of alternative courses of action and what they entail. So it means that the information should be facts or relevant in order for us to resolve those dilemmas that we are facing nowadays. So the information should be fact or true or relevant, as I have said earlier. The next one is well reasoned. Well reasoned means that good judgment is exercised in integrating the relevant moral values and facts to arrive at a morally desirable solution. So we need to think, or we need to judge a certain thing in a good um in a good way, or we need to balance our judgment in order for us um to arrive at a morally desirable solution. So that's the meaning of that. So moral clarity. Moral clarity identify the relevant moral values. So it is the most useful resource in identifying dilemmas in engineering. Our professional code of ethics as interpreted in light of one's ongoing professional experience. So the key point of here is you need to be clear. The values should be clear. The concept or the ideas should be clear in order for us to identify the relevant moral values. So next, I have here as example of moral clarity. The Code of Ethics of American Institute of Chemical Engineers, or AICHE, indicates the engineer has at least three responsibilities in situation. So there are three responsibilities in this situation, and those are honest, the employer, and the public. Um, First responsibility is to be honest, or under issue statements or present information only in an objective and truthful manner. So you need to be honest, or you need to be truthful. You need to be truthful or to be an objective. So next, second responsibility is to the employer. So act in professional matters for each employer or client as faithful agents or trustees, avoiding conflict of interest and never breaching confidentiality. So you need to avoid conflict of interest. So to para magampanan mo yung responsibilities mo as employer. So the third responsibility is to the public. Public hold paramount the safety, health, and welfare of the public and protect the environment in performance of their professional duties. So The third responsibility is to the public. Conceptual clarity. Be clear about concepts. Professionalism requires being a faithful agent of one's employer, but does not mean doing what one's supervisor direct or doing what is good for the corporation in the long run. Thus, being objective and truthful mean never lying, or that is mean revealing all pertinent information. Or to put it simply, it means that the person knows why things, process involved in the concept happen, how to create it effectively in varying situation, and to explain it to the audience. So the concept should be clear, or the concept clarity is similar to the what I have said earlier. What clear, um the concept should be clear in order for us to um in order in order for us to know, or to make a decision what is better for us, or we need, or the concept should be clear. Inform about the facts. Obtain relevant information. This means gathering information that is pertinent in light of the applicable moral values. Sometimes the primary difficulty in resolving moral dilemmas is uncertainty about the facts rather than conflicting values. So the you need to inform what is facts in order for you, or in order for us, in order for us to resolve more moral dilemmas that we are facing nowadays. So, inform about the options. Consider realistic options. So, initially, ethical dilemmas seem to force us into two-way choice. Do this, do that. Either bow to a supervisor's orders or blow the whistle to down authorities. A closer look often reveals additional options, sometimes writing down the main option and sub-options as a matrix or decision tree ensures all the options are considered. So, we need to consider our option is realistic. So, we need to we need to be mm, practical, or what do you call that, we need to be realistic, and that's the main point of this um, the main point of this topic. So next, will reason. Well, reason is making a reasonable decision. So arrive at a carefully reasoned judgment by weighing all the relevant moral reason and facts. If there is no ideal solution, as is often the case, we seek a satisfactory one. So we need to balance all the relevant moral reasons and facts. We need to balance it, or we need um, to judge it in a good way, or we need to think our judgment before doing this, or which means that good judgment is exercised in integrating the relevant moral values and facts to arrive at a morally desirable solution. To arrive at a morally desirable solution, we need to balance our decision, or we need to balance those reasons and facts. Right, wrong, or better or worse. Right means that the one course of action is obligatory, and failing to do that action is unethical or immoral. In most instances, a code of ethics specifies what is clearly required. Obey the law and heed engineering standards. Do not offer or accept bribes. Speak and write truthfully. maintain confidentiality, and so forth. On the other hand, some dilemmas have two or more reasonable solutions, no one of which is mandatory, but one of each which should be chosen. So you need you need to speak and write truthfully. It is the main, it is the most important thing that we are going to do, or maintain confidentiality. We have a secrecy law. What you hear, what you see, what you smell, what you hear, leave it here. So you need to be confidential we need to maintain confidentiality. So next one is moral decision making as design. So engineering design provides an illuminating model for thinking about all moral decision making, not just decision within engineering. Engineering design is in many respects as a model for designing courses of action in many moral situations in engineering and elsewhere. So, um, as design, we need to decide um, the engineering design provides illuminating model for thinking about all moral decisions. So hindi lang decision atang gagawin but we need to respect a model for designing. So we need to think our design first before making a decision. So that's all. Thank you. Thanks for watching.